Good evening. I'm Tom Brokaw, and I'm delighted to join in this national tribute to Sally Ride, the first American woman in space. As a journalist who covered the Space Shuttle program, I had enormous admiration for all the pioneering men and women, not just those who went up, but those who manned the controls as well. And Sally Ride, of course, was special even among her extraordinary astronaut colleagues. I remember I went back and did a profile of her early life, meeting members of her family and her classmates. They were all appropriately in awe of Sally and all that she was. She was also an entrepreneur, a great citizen, a champion for education, helping students from all walks of life learn about science and technology to prepare for their 21st century careers. Now, we look back at Sally's life, her accomplishments, and the vision that she inspired in other young Americans.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We go for main engine start. We have main engine start. And the ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of STS-7 and America's first woman astronaut. And the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Earth, as astronaut Jim Lovell once reflected, is a grand oasis in the great vastness of space. It is a canvas capable of inspiring the greatest pursuits and achievements.
One of Sally's favorite pictures and her favorite views was looking across at Earth's horizon and then seeing that thin blue band and realizing that that was Earth's atmosphere, the air that we breathe, the oxygen that plants give off that we all need to stay alive, and just how thin and fragile it was, and it transformed her.
Sally Christian Ride was born in 1951 in Los Angeles, California. She was an athlete long before becoming an astronaut.
She loves sports. She actually liked team sports much more than individual sports, and even in tennis, you know, she enjoyed playing singles, but she loved playing doubles. And that kind of collaborative mentality stuck with her in everything she did.
In high school, Sally climbed the national rankings as a tennis player, but it was the inspiration of a teacher, Dr. Elizabeth Momartz, that led her to consider a career in the sciences. Sally earned her bachelor's in physics and English at Stanford in 1973. It was in Palo Alto 4 years later, as a doctoral candidate, that Sally learned of NASA's nationwide search for the next generation of astronauts.
I still remember that Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock, opening the Stanford Daily and seeing in the lower right-hand corner of page 3 the ad that NASA had put into the Stanford and other university newspapers saying that they were looking for applications for astronauts.
She thought she was going to become a professor of physics and do research and teach and live happily ever after. And suddenly it was like, I want to be an astronaut.
Of the 8,000 candidates, NASA chose Dr. Ride as a trainee, setting the stage for her to become the first American woman in space.
We were present at her first blast-off in Florida. Seeing the power at a blast-off is very frightening. Everything shook. The first feeling was of fear. Then the feeling was she's having the time of her life.
Over the course of a decade at NASA, Dr. Ride flew 2 missions, logged over 343 hours on the Space Shuttle Challenger, and became the first astronaut to use a robotic arm in space. Her trailblazing led Gloria Steinem to note that millions of little girls are going to sit by their television sets and see that they can be astronauts, heroes, explorers, and scientists.
Even when she was at NASA, she would give talks to teachers and kids. The thing that she really noticed was that you could use space exploration as a way to excite kids about science.
Her notion was that the kids would come to see her and hear her because, you know, she was the first American woman in space. But that's not why she was doing it. She was doing that because she knew that she could spark interest, she could encourage kids.
Determined to foster interest in science, technology, engineering, and math among American youth, Dr. Ride co-wrote 7 science books on space exploration and on exploring our planet from space. Much as she had been inspired as a student, Dr. Ride aimed to educate and engage by bringing science to life.
What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about soil.
Programs like the Sally Ride Academy, brought to you by ExxonMobil, are important because during this time and age, STEM careers, science, technology, engineering, and math are in high demand. And we're trying to prepare the young minds today to fulfill those career obligations in the future.
They teach teachers how to find ways to engage students in science, technology, engineering, and math.
I think Sally Ride Science opens the eyes of children who are studying science, but they don't know the why. Why am I studying this?
Through Sally Ride Science, Sally's beloved company, we will continue to inspire boys and girls and their teachers and parents in math and science and technology.
Sally was a champion for social change and equity in STEM education. She inspired K-12 teachers, U.S. and state governments, as well as corporate America, to improve science and math education and to support science and technical literacy for all students. From serving as a founding member of Change the Equation to engaging corporate partners such as ExxonMobil to create the Sally Ride Science Academy, Sally embodied the American can-do spirit, and she has inspired us all.
I know that through your dedication, your commitment to education, that you'll continue to encourage your students, the boys and the girls, to reach for the stars and achieve their dreams too.